Good morning. Happy May 11th. Happy Mother's Day and happy full moon tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about, and it's been intense. And there's so many things I want to share with you. And I'm just going to sort of build a scenario for us and then walk us through. And, by all means, if you wanted to learn more about these, the astrology, about the intensity, definitely there are resources that I will list down below, like Madrona's Pulse with Iris J. There is Ain Stoic with his snarky, fun astrology. There's Stephen Burns with his physical stuff. So we will go through that down below, but I'm not going to go through a lot of solar flare stuff today because it's Mother's Day, full moon tomorrow. Saturn goes into the ending stage of Pisces, and the solar activities have been minimal at C1 through C5, but not a lot of measurable outside of some KP index, and we'll go through that and what that means. So, like, buckle up, and I'm going to take you through a process of what we can expect over the next 2 or 3 days. And I'm just so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here and that we get a chance to talk about this. Okay, so first and foremost, on our physical Earth, we're not seeing a lot of solar flare activity. We're seeing some high B class and just repetitive C1 through C5. Now, if you remember on solar flare, C1s are those taps on the shoulder, tap, tap, tap. Hey, hey, are you? Hey, hey, have you? Hey, 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 hey. And you're just like, I hear you and I need you to stop. And at the same time, it's like, why are you bothering me right now? This can also look for a lot of us like this, which is every time you tap me, I go into a reaction, I go into something, right? So we have these taps going on. Is there anything else? Oh, and we can also feel a little bit like this right now. I know I spent the week feeling a lot of this, and that's a story for another time. I think we'll see. So this is where we are right now. Okay. And we've had earthquakes. We had an earthquake in South Carolina, 4.1, I think. We have Schumann resonance is really, really active. What are you physically noticing? Because I'm noticing that I can't find, and we talked about this over the last 2 weeks, very many measurement devices that are going to tell me what's going on, yet there's this intensity that just keeps pushing its thumb on top, making things like even Mother's Day kind of like, ma. My daughters and I just said, we're all going to do our own thing for Mother's Day. And we've been texting and saying, I love you, happy you're here, and all of that, but we are just not gathering, right? And again, there's those tap, tap, taps on the solar flares. So today is Mother's Day. And I want to keep in mind too that this is how we honor the mama. This is how we honor the woman who has birthed and raised us. And whether it's our mother, whether it's our mothering process and we have our own children, it's up and down the generations, right? And it can also be a really painful experience for those who are either dealing with divorce or death or estrangement with their mama, with their children, with a lot of different things. I also want to put that little plug in there that this is a Hallmark manufactured holiday that was designed to sell a lot of flowers and a lot of cards. And that's my snarky side coming out, right? Which is how much you want to buy into this. And it is at the bottom line, a celebration of mamahood, and that is something that we want to be able to do on a daily, beautiful basis. So today is Mother's Day. Tomorrow is the full moon in Scorpio. So we're in the sun sign of Taurus, which is fixed physical, and we have a full moon in Scorpio, which is fixed water. So what we're basically going to say is that we're having a really fixed shit show right now. All of those rigidities, all of those things that we hold on to that have kept us grounded, that have kept us secure, that have kept us in our bodies are like being moved. And there's a whole lot of players that are involved. So it's like this intensity. There's also conjunctions. There's other planets aligning with both the moon and the sun and throwing their 2 cents in there. And I wrote this piece up that I thought would be really fun just to sort of give you a perspective of what this full moon is about. So to give you an idea, we have Taurus, and if you can see the face on this bull, this is, this is the toroidal bull, right? This is Taurus. This is physical Earth. This is the Prince of Discs in the Thoth deck, but I really love this bull. And then we have Scorpio, which we've seen tons of times from the Thoth deck. Both of these are from the Thoth deck, of, sort of that Plutonian energy that is willing to go down to the deep, deep essence and flush things up. So when we have this bull, right, it's stubborn, solid, fixed, holding fast, doing refusal. It's an immovable object, is what I know about a lot of Tauruses. When you start pushing on them, there's a stubbornness or an inability to move or to open up, right? And then we have Scorpio. Now, I wish I had a picture of a Scorpio, a scorpion, because it's kind of fun to watch them with their tail, right? Which is provoking Taurus right now. And according to Ange Stoic, he wrote a piece, and I put it on my Facebook, and I'll put the link also in this description, which is that Scorpio's trying to transform the stubbornness of this bull. Scorpio's trying to get this bull to do something that can transform them, that can move them, and it is what I don't even know why I used ear. It's sort of like I can't find the word. It's not sustainable, this stubbornness that the bull has. So Scorpio has decided to try things like emotional blackmail, psychotic rages, long bouts of silent treatments and withholding, hysterical accusations, weaponized sex, sleazy smear campaigns, sabotage, false exits, even martyrdom, just to get some movement, trying to do anything to get this guy to move, to get us to move out of where we're stuck, where we're using our security, where we're using our la, 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 la. I'm not going to look at that, because I love being married 25 years or 30 years. I love this house. I love my job. And Scorpio's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And poking and poking and poking. So what's happening is we've been building for years. We have been building for 2, 3, 10, 20 years. And what's about to blow is our loyalty, any betrayals, any suppressed powering over in partnerships, in our intimacy, where our raw nerves are just shaking. And then one of those little players is Chiron saying, this is where your wound is. Are you going to pay attention to it? And we're starting to fracture, but we're holding tight. And we're like, the things that we have buried are starting to emerge, right? Now, what we need to do is have this unflinching honesty. Madrona Pulse says it's that authentic self. We need to be able to have our own physical security. We have to look at where our psychology with ourselves and others is, where we're stuck, and we have to be able to let something move, something shake off of us, something that has held us so tight. And I'm seeing that in our political, like, that's a bad party. It doesn't matter which side you're on, right? That's a bad party. That's bad behavior. It's bad family stuff. And so we're just in this shaking sort of rigidity on this moon, and understanding that this battle is between these two, and that we're in the middle of it. Now, I want to add one more thing to this sort of profile, is that Saturn. Now, if we look at Saturn, Saturn's like the reality check guy. I always call him the house inspector, the one who comes over and goes, now I think you did a good job over here, but you still need to finish this. Or the professor who's working with you on your last dissertation or your final in order to achieve a grade in the class. They're the ones who are sort of holding you in your own integrity, in your own reality, and in your own strength, so that you can shine through, so that you can have the courage. Where did she go? She's around here somewhere. Oh, There she is. So that you can have the courage to really show who you are. So Saturn entered into Pisces on March 7th, 2023. So 2 years ago and 2 months. And it's been slogging through this deep emotional sign, not enjoying any of it and being kind of snarky about it, right? And now on Tuesday, after we have this full moon on Monday, on Tuesday, Saturn enters officially into the 29 degrees. Now, we've talked about the anoretics. We've talked about what happens when a long duration sign or planet spends a long time in a sign and it gets all the way to that final cleanup stage, right? And that's where we have to do that check-in, which is like, how am I doing? How am I doing with my conscious choices and my presence and my aligning with my real awareness? Am I able to, what have I been experiencing over the last 2 years? What has been connecting? What has been culminating? What has been falling apart? And all of that's pressuring this full moon. So when we look at, and it doesn't really matter whether we look at the full moon with Scorpio and Taurus, whether we look at Saturn, whether we look at Chiron, whether we look at Uranus, the astrology of it has astrologers going like, oh, oh no. And I love the way that Ancient Stoic said it, is that he said, there will be tears because there's no way that this is sustainable. We cannot pretend that we aren't in some sort of torture at this in time, and we cannot pretend and be this stubborn. And there's going to be a choice that falls off, and we're going from I have this choice or this choice, and you actually think you have these choices, and it's coming down to we will have one of these fall off, and the way that we choose to go at this time will take us into our future. And I'm like, damn, this is not light. This is not fun, right? And then, frazzled. We're under this enormous internal pressure, and we're making these profound shifts. And clarity has to be the biggest thing. Now, I may look a little bit more serious than I usually am because there was a point this week, and it started in the early mornings of Tuesday, where 1 or 2 a.m., both my hips and there was like this bar between my hips. It was like a dumbbell. There was a ball of fire here and a ball of fire here and a ball of fire across. And it just woke me up, and it cinched, and it just flared, and it flared for 24 hours straight. I couldn't sit, I couldn't walk. It didn't like heat. It liked ice, but only for a little while. I cried. I stood in one place. I couldn't relax. And I started to work with what is going on with these hips. And I have a lot of ideas of what that was. And I did my own deep work and my own self-discovery. And then at 2 a.m., early Wednesday morning, exactly 24 hours later, it released. Now, you talk to a chiropractor and you say, and she's like, or he is like, SI joint. And I'm like, yeah, it was definitely the SI, S1, 2, 3 joint, right? The sacral and the hips. But there's no way that it came up that fast. Took me through what I would call the darkest night of the soul I've ever experienced. And then spit me out on Wednesday morning with brand new hips relaxed and in some sort of awareness of how important it is that we are present to who we are, what we need right now. And that's why I'm sort of nudging, maybe not so gently as I usually do, for us to sort of prepare because many of us have felt this increase, and we know something's coming. There's tempers, there's impatience, there's exhaustion. We have these physical pains. There's this uneasiness percolating underneath. So I have 6 tips for you on how we can go through this, and how we can support one another, especially down in the comments. So before I do that, 2 things. I have a Patreon channel, and I put a lot of these links up there so that you can read them yourself. And that's the best place for me to keep throwing things throughout the week that I research, and that the rest of us research and share with each other. Number 2, shifting from parent coaching to the intangible to really recognizing that metaphysical, the invisible, intangible is what I love to talk about. And I'm strategic. I'm always going to be strategic. And you see that in these videos. What is it that we can do? What's going on? What can we do, and how do you do that? So, if there's a way that I can help and support you during this time, by all means, drop me a message. My link to socials in my website are down below. Okay. Okay. So, tip number one, I want you to explore. Explore inward. Take an inventory. Is Denise like off her rocker today? Or is it tapping, tapping, stirring something inside of you? What are you feeling? What are you aligning with me on this video? Like what are you saying? Oh yeah, I can feel that. And what are you going like? No effing way. I'm not, she's crazy. I don't even know if I want to listen to her anymore, because this is where we recognize where our rigidity, where that fixed sign, both of these are fixed sign, are just pushing on us, right? So where are you being pushed on? Where are you being fixed? Where are you being stubborn? Where are you in a refusal? And explore it. That's all. You just explore it like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty rigid about some things and more rigid than I thought I was. Oh, no, right? Number two, what might you lose? What might you let go of, right? What is possible? Because there's going to be something that's festering that you've ignored and you've pushed down, which might look like, I only have 2 more years in this job and this job is killing me, but I only have 2 more years until I get X amount. Or I told my kids I'd never divorce their mother or their father, right? So just know that their parent, that just know that there is a truth that you are unwilling or afraid to really acknowledge. And if you know that it's there, what might you lose? What might happen? Do you need to quit your job? Do you need to end a partnership? Do you need to get real with your body and your health and how you've been taking care or not taking care of yourself? Where you've tried to control other people, places, and things, and where there's going to be some relief from this pressure, whether you want it to or not. Because interestingly enough, in these two hips within the Sephras of Netzach, Hod, which is the right side, and Netzach, which is the left side, the card that holds those two together is the Tower. And so our lower back and our hips are going to show us where we're out of alignment, and that Tower is going to have something happen whether we want it to or not. Damn. Number three, discern. Discern what needs your attention this week. And I love the word discern, which is weigh it out. Look at it and go, what actually needs my attention? What really needs my attention? So you drop all the extra ancillary activities and responsibilities until maybe Wednesday or Thursday, or even take the whole week if you can, and you renegotiate. I couldn't stand still. I couldn't sit for any long when I was in this pain. So I canceled my Patreon discussion group. And I was like, they're paid memberships. I can't believe that I might do this. And it was like, no, I need to take care of myself, right? And I can't control what's going to happen here. I need to take care of myself right now. So do what you can do right now to drop the outer responsibilities and the outer impressions, because as we rock through these next 2 or 3 days, we're going to need a little bit more time to process things. We're going to need more time to sit. We're going to need more time to soak in a bathtub. We're going to need more time to talk to somebody. We're going to need more time. So discern, how am I going to create that? Number four, according to Ange, there might be tears, or there will be tears. Prepare for it. Prepare for some healing, some really honest truths to come out. The clarity will arise. It will arise tonight as we go into the last 12 hours. I think the full moon's at 10:56 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 12:56 p.m. Eastern Time. Right? So just know that we're already in it. We are already in it. So whether it's motherhood and your need for support, or your work demands, or the pressures that you have with finances, or what else? What is it that's tapping you on the shoulder? Know that there are some decisions that are brewing inside of you, and there might be tears. Like, of all the things that I had to let go of in order to move forward, I didn't think it would be this. And we're going to see this individually. We're going to see this collectively. We're going to see this globally. We're going to see this in our leadership, in our country, in our leadership in the world. We're going to see this in everything, because we're getting ready to be clear on who we are so that we can now step forward. There's hope here, right? Number 5, honor yourself, right? You first. The put your the mother quote, right? Put the oxygen mask on so that you can take care of your kids. You take care of you. What do you need? How are you going to communicate what you need to the people around you, to your kids, to your partner, to your coworkers, and with mastery and clarity, and say, this is what I need today. This week I'm willing to give you this much time because I'm acknowledging that there's a lot of rocking going on, because I'm creating a different way of bringing things into balance. I'm going to take care of me today, and I'm going to do it with a courageous voice, right? So, final point, as we always talk about, is compassion. Compassion for ourselves, compassion for these choices that are coming in, compassion for the direction, because as we're going to this decision, that some part of our life is going to need to drop away in order for us to continue. It's going to be snarky, nasty, beautiful, wonderful, and exactly what you need. So have compassion. I'm available. If I can give you a reading, if I can do a session with you, you just let me know how I can help. Okay. You take care of yourself, and I will see you on the flip side of all of this. Bye.